Okay, so a lot of videos to put out tonight. I definitely did not feel good last night. So nothing got put out last night. So this is going to be the week 6 recap. There's plenty of videos after this that I'm going to make. So in case everybody fell asleep for week 6, there is one undefeated team left, and it is the Rams, and they got it coming. I mean, they got a schedule that they're going to lose. By the way they played against Denver this week, they're going to lose sometime within the next 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know. Not to say that they're not a good team. I just don't think they're as good as what everybody makes them out to be, or as impressive as what everybody makes them out to be, because they really haven't played anybody. So we're going to start it off on Thursday night. The Eagles just absolutely murdered the Giants, 34-13. Falcons topped the Buccaneers, 34-29. The Redskins ended up beating the Panthers 23-17. I don't think the Panthers are as bad as what the Redskins made them look. And you got to understand, I have a cousin that's a Panthers fan, and this guy thinks that they're just cock of the walk. And I mean, they're. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I mean, not playing like that, like they did against the Redskins. I think McCaffrey rushed for like 20 yards. It was awful. Cam Newton looked like a complete joke back there trying to throw the football, just heaving it up to Funchess, hoping he would catch it. I also do not think the Redskins are that good. The Seahawks blew the Raiders out in London, 27-3. The Jets beat the Colts 42-34. They're starting to shape up a little bit. The Colts fall to 1-5. Once again, they're bad with Andrew Luck and they're bad without him. He makes no difference on that team. I mean, everybody looked up to that guy like he was some kind of goddess. You know, he was going to come back and just crap on the NFL, and he got smoked by a rookie. I wouldn't say he got smoked by him, but he definitely got beat by him. The Vikings beat the Cardinals by 10. Are you really that surprised? I mean, the Cardinals are terrible. The Vikings are subpar okay, I guess. I actually seen where Cowherd said that Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs may just be better than the Rams. Dude, even with the Rams injuries, they're not as good as the Rams. I mean, they already got beat by them. Granted, they had all those guys. They're not as good as the Rams receiving core. I mean, I don't think the Rams are that great to what everybody makes them out to be. But they're a contender, and they definitely have better receivers than the Vikings. Taking nothing away from Adam Thielen or Stephon Diggs, I'm just saying that receiving core is not as good as the Rams, and they sure as hell aren't good as New England's receiving core. Even though you say they may not have much, it's because of Tom Brady, and they surely are not beating out our receiving core. So. The Steelers ended up beating the Bengals 28-21. The Bengals will be coming off of a loss coming to Arrowhead. The Steelers are starting to take form a little bit. They're starting to find themselves and play a little bit better. The Chargers smoked the Browns. Again, not really surprised. They got a rookie quarterback. They're still trying to figure themselves out. You know, it is what it is. The Texans beat the Bills 20-13. That was a trash bag game. Nobody cares about that one. The Dolphins, with Brock Osweiler, ended up winning 31-28 over the Bears. The Rams went to Denver and struggled. Tom Gurley still did, or Tom Gurley. Sorry, Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley did. Oh man, my speech is so messed up. I guess there's just a lot to say, and I'm trying to shovel these videos out, and I do have a lot to say within these minutes, because I've heard so much over the NFL, and I've seen so much at this point. Todd Gurley did what Todd Gurley always does. He runs the football, and I think that's really the only thing that saved him in this game. Denver kind of came back late in the game. Denver beat themselves, really. I mean, they could have beat this football team I mean, a win's a win, don't get me wrong. The Rams still won. And I think the Rams are playing pretty decent with what they have. I mean, they got so many receivers injured, it's not even funny. But, I mean, this is a game Denver probably should have won. But the Rams struggled in cold weather. They struggled in general. Moving on, the Ravens blanked the Titans 21-0. Ravens are they now have the best defense in the league, being what happened to Jacksonville, which is the next game we're going to get to. Jacksonville fell off the face of the planet in the last 2 weeks. They got pummeled by us, and they got beat by the Cowboys 40-7. The Cowboys beat the crap out of them. But the Ravens I think they probably have, I think the stats are right. The Ravens probably have the best defense in the NFL right now. But their offense is just so up and down. I mean, they're so inconsistent. Sometimes they score a lot of points, sometimes they don't. Honestly, they should have murdered the Titans. The Titans played like complete ass, and they got out of there in a 3-score game. I mean, it's still a blowout win, don't get me wrong, but again, the Cowboys beat the Jaguars 40-7. Jalen Ramsey talked all that shit, and now they're just getting blown out by people. And the media asked him questions, and the only thing he said is, well, I don't know. And if you're going to talk shit, at least back it up, dude. I preached that. I mean, he did okay against Tyreek Hill. He did better in New England, but even when Tyreek Hill wasn't getting thrown to, he was still smoking him. So, I mean, Jalen Ramsey isn't anything special. Cowboys proved that. Came over the Chiefs. 40 knocked us off for our first loss. You know what, man? I'm just going to say this about the game because I just sit there and listen to Steve Mariucci talk for 5 to 7 minutes about the Chiefs straight. Or no, it wasn't Steve Mariucci, sorry. I'm not sure who the hell it was, honestly. He kind of looks like him, but now I'm thinking about it, it definitely wasn't him. But this guy was like, oh, they've done this before it started 5-0, you know, they fall off the face of the planet. Look, man, we're not the same team that we was last year. We don't have the same quarterback. We don't have the same receiving core. We definitely don't have the same defense. I mean, we are completely different from last year. And the fact that Pat Mahomes really didn't play that great the first half, 2 interceptions. He only accumulated 9 points. That is a horrible first half for him. A horrible first half for him, and that's an average first half for everybody else. And he still only lost by 3. If you look at his stats in the second half, I think they were, now don't quote me on this, 13 for 19. Man, what was it? 13 for 19, and it was like 200 and something yards and 4 touchdowns. He blew up in the second half. My point being, okay, there's no defense in the NFL that's going to stop Tom Brady when he's hot. I'll just say that right now. There's not. The Ravens might play him close, but it's hard to stop Tom Brady when he's playing that hot. It came down exactly the way I said it would, with whoever had the ball last, and Brady happened to have the ball last, and they made a hell of a play call there near the end of the game. Because Belichick's a genius and Tom Brady's a genius, but the Patriots won nonetheless. But I just want to say this. Pat Mahomes played one good full half, and he only lost by 3. So Pat Mahomes on a bad day lost to the Pats by 3 points. Let that sink in. Imagine if he would have played, you know, imagine if he wouldn't have been so shaky in the first half and he would have hit those passes. Would have been a different game. But those are all what ifs. But I'm just saying, if we play him a second time around, it could be different. Hell, I don't know. Maybe they shut him out for 2 halves next week or next time if we play him. You never know. I mean, they could shut him down like they did in the first half for both halves. But from what I've seen from Pat Mahomes so far, I just don't see that happening. But I see him, if he plays 2 full quarters, we beat the Patriots. Defense played pretty good in the third quarter, just for an add-on. They gave up significant points in the other three quarters, but the first or the third quarter they played pretty good, and we're going to get some of those guys back on defense. That have been hurt for a while. Daniel Sorensen's one of them. We've been hurting at safety really bad. Stick him in there with Lucas and Ron Parker. You got a pretty good combination in the secondary. But that's that. Moving on to Monday night, the Packers played the 49ers. The 49ers were driving with the game tied, and they threw a pick, but the ball hit the ground. Refs didn't catch it. The Packers got up and ran it all the way back to I can't remember what it was. Either way, Aaron Rodgers went down they picked it off, and Aaron Rodgers went down the field and scored. That's what it was. But the ball clearly hit the ground, but they couldn't. I don't know, some rule they couldn't review it or whatever. I don't really care. It's the Packers and the 49ers, but Packers should have lost either way. I just don't think the NFC is that elite this year. The Packers look like garbage against a second-string quarterback who really isn't that bad, honestly. But everybody's praising the Chargers right now because they beat a few trash bag teams, and I mean, come on, man. They beat the 49ers by 2. Remember when we played the 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo? 35-10 at half. And they're all excited about these guys beating them by 2. So, again, I'll say it again. I do not think the NFC is elite. The Packers struggle. The Cowboys are up and down. They're 3-3. The Rams. I mean, the Rams are the only real dominant team in the NFC. But really, who have they played? I think they played like one or two teams that were one game above 500, which is just above average. They haven't played anybody great yet. Wait until they start. I wish they played the Patriots. They got the Packers here in a couple weeks. They might lose that game. I think they got Carolina too, and they might lose that game too. But if these guys were to play the Patriots, I bet you the Rams get beat by probably a good 10, 17 points. I mean, they're competitors, but especially with them being beat up the way that they are, even if they had a full staff, I still think they lose to the Patriots. The Bears, they're up and down. I mean, they're scoring points, but you never know what they're going to do. And again, we're only a quarter of the way through the season, so you can't really tell yet. Some of these teams that are 3-3, they might end up 13-3. You never know. The Vikings, when they do play people, they lose. The Seahawks, they're real up and down. I seen that Cowherd put them in the top 10. How? Good Lord. I mean, who have they beat? A bunch of crappy NFC teams and a couple of crappy AFC teams? I mean, there's teams on here that have records, and they haven't beat anybody. They played a bunch of trash bags. Carolina, I mean, they're a team that I think played one or two teams that were above 500. They got beat by the Falcons, and I get it. It's a divisional game. But how are you supposed to win your division when you can't get past the Saints? I mean, the Saints are probably the most dominant team in the NFC. I'll say that right now. I would absolutely put the Saints as a top tier team in the NFC over the Rams. And I think the Rams actually play the Saints this year too. And I definitely think they're losing that one. Drew Brees is not going to lose that game, especially when it comes down to NFC contenders. The Redskins, look at their division. Really? The NFC East. Dallas looks like shit. They're up and down. Redskins look like shit. They're up and down. Philadelphia's kind of getting back in the groove, I guess. But then again, they beat the shit out of the Giants. What does that prove? I mean, you beat a dead horse, man. That doesn't prove anything. I'd rather them beat a really good team by 3 or 7 points than just beat the holy shit out of a really bad team. They doesn't prove anything. Just like Dallas smoking the Jaguars. Apparently the Jaguars aren't that great. I mean, hell, we beat the tar out of them last week, and now the Cowboys pummeled them this week. And the Cowboys, they haven't really done jack on offense besides run it with Zeke Elliott. You know, that's one-dimensional football. The Falcons and the Buccaneers. Everybody knew Fitzmagic was going to die off. That time was coming pretty soon. And the Falcons are like 2-4 or something like that. They fell off real quick. I thought they'd do a lot better than that. But anyways, I don't want to make this too long. That's the recap. After this video, I'm probably going to do, you know, the Week 7 picks. And then from there I might do around the league or the keys to beating Cincinnati or probably even both. So I'm going to get on in the next video. So we're going to do the Week